What up, Dokkanners? The LR reveals, the full detail reveals for Gogeta and the Omega Shenron will be happening on the Dokkan Now Special Global Dokkan Campaign 2025 Part 2 Celebration Live Broadcast. This is set to arrive July 23rd at 2 a.m. PST. My God, 3 a.m. PDT. In fact, you know what? Let me write this down, actually. Let me change some things. So I wrote here Twitter reveal. So we're going to change this to July 23rd, 3 a.m. PDT. Oh, okay. So that is going to be... Cool. That is going to be when we get the Dokkan Now Live. Okay. So in that Dokkan Now Live special, we will get the full animation suite for both characters. We will get the full unit breakdown for both characters. We will probably see a couple of notices of upcoming events. We might even get a new free-to-play team. That one, I would keep expectations very low for that. Potential EZAs or super EZAs, although I don't think, did they mention that in the part 1? I think they might have talked about the physical Vegito and the AGL Rose. So we might get some information about that stuff, but basically what I'm trying to say is we're going to be getting the breakdown for part 2. We will provide new information on events, new characters planned for Global Dokkan Part 2. I'm just going to say, while I very much enjoyed the part 1 broadcast, looking back, they really didn't do everything that they should have. They did deliver on some things, but one thing that kind of in hindsight gets very irritating to think about was just how much vamping they did, which I understand they had guests on, but could they not have taken the time to explain more about the good things in the celebration? They really didn't do that justice. They did not go over every part of the part 1 celebration properly. Like when it comes to the free-to-play Rose characters, the Rose clones, that was a pretty big deal. And they only mentioned it as a free-to-play unlock from an event, but they don't actually go into details as far as like what they do, how they look, none of that stuff. So I do hope that they maybe change how they conduct themselves for this one, and we get a little bit more direct info about everything so that there's less to be revealed at a later point. Because that would have really been an awesome reveal for the live stream. It's always about which characters you're going to have to spend money for, right, to summon for. But if they had actually shown us some really good, promising free-to-play characters, not only would that cater to a larger audience, but it would just otherwise increase the hype towards the celebration. A lot of people were feeling a certain way about the animations because the Vegeta was only trapped in the active skill and all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. But having something like this to cheer about would definitely have changed the overall perception of the celebration from that presentation. But anyway, we will be getting this then. And coincidentally, the banner discounts for part 1 are going to be ending later on that day. 400 hours only. Super multi discounts end July 23rd, 10 a.m. So let's write that down as well. And I obviously can't show what time this means for you in everyone's time zone because that's just too many. But I will provide some context in just a second. So 10 a.m. PDT, part 1 banners, discounts end. Okay. So in relation to Global's reset, this would be, so 2 days from now, that day's global daily reset, you would simply add 8 hours, no, 10 hours, and that would be this. This would be from right now, from me recording this video, this would be 3 days from now, and then it would be 5 hours before JP's daily reset in 3 days. So that's kind of how you'd look at it. If it's too much math, if it's too complicated, I can't do anything else for you. That's about all I can tell you. But yeah, this is what we've got. So there's a 7-hour difference between the Dokkan Now broadcast and then the part 1 banners ending. So 100% that means later on in the day, we should definitely be getting the summon. So if I do July 23rd, we'll just make it the same time. 6 p.m. PDT. So 1 hour into the part 2 celebration. Part 2 banners. Release tune guess not real. Okay, so this would probably be where we start summoning for part 2. So this would actually be technically the 23rd, not the 24th. So that's kind of how I see things playing out here, which makes sense. It sucks for me because I will have 0 sleep because I live in a time zone where 3 a.m. is a little too early, where you're better off just staying up late. Then I have work the next day, and then I got to be ready for this. So that is going to be killer for me. That's it. I mean, we don't really have anything else to say about this one as far as expectations. Whatever we got in part 1, it would just basically be that and then some. Hopefully it is for the better. There is no guest star here. It is just is this a JP player? I think it's JP player. They also do the same. We Saiyans have no limits. So we have a new MC here. Not new. Actually, I think she's done Dokkan stuff before. She's definitely been on the Breakers streams. I don't know her name, but it's not the previous MC, Sakura Ando. It is not her. It is this person instead. And it looks like we're not getting any comedic duos or anything to join. It's just going to be the MC, and I would imagine Omatsu and maybe Geppy. So maybe that's a good sign. I'm going to take that as a sign that maybe they're going to focus more so on Dokkan and not really do much of the vamping as much. But we'll see. We will have to see. Now, I also want to go back and I want to do a little bit of a breakdown on the animations that we've seen so far, because I was actually going to do this before, but then we got the announcement soon after about the Dokkan Now special, and I figured I would throw that into the video. But when it comes to the reveals so far, it's very interesting how the perception and the overall mood has seemingly been on social media after the part 2 reveals versus part 1. Granted, the execution I don't think was very well done for part 2. There was no build-up whatsoever. They just sort of shoved this in our face. But what I'm more so talking about is how people have quickly flipped the script on how their reactions are to these characters as opposed to part 1. And that mainly centers around the fusion, right? The infamous Vegito Blue, lack thereof when it comes to the fusion. Gogeta seemingly is a usable character on his own, whereas the Vegito is relegated to an active skill. So when that happened in part 1, when we saw the animations, a lot of people were very upset about it, and that negativity carried over until we got to see the characters in action. Now the reaction is not nearly as negative. There is still obviously some ambivalence towards the whole thing about Vegeta not having like a tangible usable unit, but waiting until you get to see what the unit can do is a very important detail that a lot of people missed and forgot about. And so going into part 2, it's now feeling like the other side of it, where everyone is like over the top excited, which is what you should be. This is how Dokkan should be doing things in terms of bringing the hype. But we still have to wait and see what the units can do. So, you know, while the units may look cool from what we've seen so far, actually, you know what? We'll just play this on loop. While this may look cool so far, just keep in mind we have no idea what the actual units do yet. And actually, you know what? To be fair, I guess before we start playing it, this does say the images of the characters are after Dokkan Awakening, which means these are both the LR arts. However, just to be clear, this may not necessarily be the whole thing. This might not be the entire picture. I will give you the perfect example as to why that is. Just imagine that they did this for a certain superhero character from a couple of years ago. Just imagine if they did this, or better yet, what if they showed a still image of the final form of this? People would have been so angry if they found out after learning about the unit details that the card art showing Beast Gohan is very much not what the actual main part of the unit is. Like, this is a very big difference. So the point of what I'm trying to say here is that this might be just one aspect of the LR art. There are animations where they kind of build up the animations, then eventually like flashes to white and then it switches to something else. That could totally happen here, where it is actually a Goku Vegeta that fuses into Gogeta. Could be something else. There's no way of knowing for sure. So, you know, I think most of us are feeling that this is going to be a standalone Gogeta, but there could be more to it. And I still think that it is possible that we could be looking at a potential defusing character. Now, I know some people probably don't want that because this would be our first straight up Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta LR, which is definitely something that I've always wanted. We've never had a straight up blue fusion summonable character. We've never had a straight up... Actually, wait, do we have a straight up Potara? We don't, right? There is no straight up LR Super Vegito. No. The closest that we have is the STR free-to-play Vegito Blue, and then the physical the Super Saiyan Gogeta from the Dragon Ball Super Broly. That's all we've got. We need more of those fusions starting out as they are. And Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta definitely doesn't have an LR that does that. So this is definitely a good thing if we get it. But honestly speaking, and this might be a bit of a hot take, so, you know, you might get annoyed by this, but you know what? The Toon powers may work in your favor. I would actually very much be down if this character is a temporary status character. You start off as the Super Saiyan 4, after 4 turns, maybe 5, whatever, you then defuse, and then you go into the reversible exchange of it all, and you have Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta doing different things. I think that that would make a collectively more complete and more entertaining package of abilities for the character. That's just me. I think we can all agree fusions are hype, but we have a lot of good fusion characters. And so I think if we can make these fusion characters work in different, interesting ways, I think that would ultimately be the better move. So I would not be opposed to that. Now, the tune L of it all is that if I say this, I curse it, and now it probably won't happen. Remember when I said, Daime's confirmed for part 2? What happened? It didn't happen. So maybe by me saying this, those of you who hate the idea of what I just said might be comforted in knowing that I might have just cursed it forever. So, you know, we'll see. But I think that could be neat. As far as Omega Shenron and Sin Shenron, I like that he looks cool. I don't like that it's Omega here, but again, I'm hoping that this is like a card art thing where it's just not showing the whole deal and he still starts off as Sin, because this can't be Sin Shenron if the art is just this. Doesn't work, right? There's got to be more going on here. If it is Omega Shenron, let's look at this from a glass half full kind of thing. Okay, so if we go to GT Boss, if this guy ends up being another Omega Shenron, then that means that these two units cannot be run together. If that's the case, the good side of this is that you could run this guy as your lead, and you could run the new Omega Shenron as your friend lead. Now, why would that be an option? Well, because most of you are likely going to be more so focused on getting this guy, and he is a carnival unit. In the process of summoning for said carnival unit, I have a feeling this Omega Shenron might be featured on that banner. It would be an absolute misstep if he was not. So assuming this guy is going to be one of the featured LRs, and you're trying to get the Gogeta and you end up pulling him, you have now given yourself a GT Boss's lead. This guy can be run on the main team with this new Omega Shenron being the friend unit, and that does give you options. Now, unfortunately, there are not too many good GT Boss characters in general, but then more specifically in Shadow Dragon Saga, so the rest of the bench is going to have to be determined by EZAs or potential free-to-play characters or whatever else they decide to do. But assuming they do a good job of giving GT bosses adequate representation during the celebration, adequate support, this guy could fall as a really good backup and a very practical backup option for a lot of you guys. So, I mean, that is one way to look at it. Again, I would rather this guy be Sin Shenron. I would rather run multiple Sin Shenron, Omega Shenron combinations, because if we were to have 2 of those new summonable Omega Shenrons, I could run one with this guy. I could run the other one with, I mean, whoever else. There aren't too many good Shadow Dragons. Maybe this guy gets a super EZA, or maybe this guy just gets way better because of the effects of the main LR, or maybe they give this guy his EZA. Actually, wait, is he next in line to get one? I can't keep track. The last one we had, I think, was Mecha Frieza King Cold, right? I don't recall if this guy is actually on track to maybe get that next LR EZA. Let me know in the comments, because I can't remember. I'm gonna just look right now. I'm looking in game. Yeah, actually, you know what? It is. Because Babidi Deborah got an EZA, King Cold, Mecha Frieza, Oob, and Cooler. So yeah, Legion of Shadow Dragons could be looking at an EZA. Very different named character. I mean, look at the name, for crying out loud. They are not the big bad bosses, are they? They are big bad bosses. Dude, I think this guy could be getting an EZA. That would actually be really sick if we did. This guy not only would work in the context of a summonable Omega Shenron team, but then also, assuming, you know, if our wildest dreams come true and we actually get a full Shadow Dragons free-to-play team, this would be an amazing lead for that. Better than the Future Saga, because for Future Saga, the best thing that we have is the 100% lead for Time Travelers with the Zamasu Goku, which is just lame. This guy would lead at 150%, which would be pretty awesome. Okay, so that's all the speculation as far as the character goes. I want to talk about a few things in the actual animations. Now, I'm probably not going to cover every aspect of it, because I'm sure there's going to be a couple of things that I miss. So if I miss any references or any visual cues, feel free to chime in the comments. But let's just start with this. This feels like it could be a domain. It might be an entrance animation, but it could also be a domain. Shout out to a couple of you guys in chat who pointed this out during the live stream when we were reacting to this. This negative energy dispersing all over the planet could be an awesome set piece for a domain. This would also give another reason to boost up and run GT bosses. I mean, we all know GT bosses needs all the help that we can give them. There is no, you know, ultimate amazing slot 1 GT boss, let alone slot 2, slot 3. Like, nobody's good. So if we give a domain, it's not going to break the game having these guys get the extra, I don't know, 20% or whatever. So I think that that would be a really good thing for the Omega Shenron, outside of also having the like Dragon Ball collecting mechanic, having an intro or like just an automatic domain when you start. I think that would be pretty neat. The last time we had a character with an intro animation that also started the domain, I think was Lord Slug, right? Didn't Lord Slug do something like that too? So that's cool. Then here's our first shot of the Omega Shenron. You got the visual vibes very much capturing the GT feeling there. And then, I mean, what's funny is that Omega Shenron looks cool. He moves like 2 frames. The rest of the teaser is just all Gogeta because they know it. Like, Gogeta is what matters. This is like one of the coolest design characters you'll ever see in Dragon Ball. This is one of many reasons why I love Super Saiyan 4 so much. So freaking much. Now, I know I'm a Dokkan player, but I've been playing in Legends. I've been dabbling in Legends. The shading, the lighting, all of this very much reminds me of the green Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I think is he a Legends Limited? LF? Whatever the heck he is. Looks very good. And I gotta say, the level of satisfaction that I see or I kind of feel from looking at this visual hits the same way that the Legends art does. I think that the Legends card arts look really, really good most of the time. And it's sometimes, it sort of makes me jealous just to think how much better they look on Legends as opposed to Dokkan, just in terms of art. But then when I see things like this, I'm just reminded of how great Dokkan can look, because this is just incredible. Now, I did not notice this at the beginning. Maybe some of y'all did, but I did not. But I did now. Do you guys see that they actually gave us a Dragon Ball Super Broly reference right here? This little white silhouette emerging from the flames as the frames pick up is exactly what they did in Dragon Ball Super Broly. Here's the frame with the outline. Then here's the actual character. Here's the frames with the white line with the Gogeta from Dragon Ball Super Broly. Here's the actual character. Same sort of style. I didn't get the footage to show you. I don't have a GIF or anything, but I mean, if you've seen the movie, you know. So when this, here, let's just go back and play it. It's the same exact thing. So that's a nice little touch. This is a Dokkan original. We are getting some Dokkan original stuff from here because we're getting Dragon Fist. We're getting, like, you know, combinations of various elements from other moments. Also, here's Omega's one contribution, just his hand closing into a fist. And then Gogeta immediately mogs him with his own fist, an iron fist, if you will. Tell me this is not the protector of Kunlun right here. Look at that. He is the sworn protector of Kunlun. Look at that. His fist is glowing. Why is it glowing? Because of this. There's gotta be, some of these shots have to be from other things. So let me know, like, if there's a game where maybe some of this stuff comes from. Let me know, because I would love to see where everything is from. But this just looks so good. They, like, I am a Gogeta fanboy. Everyone knows that. I love both, but I've always had a little bit more of a soft spot for Gogeta, and especially Super Saiyan 4. That's my favorite form. So this just means everything to me. And I know that some people might say, we're getting Super Saiyan 4 again, we're getting Gogeta again. I don't care. Like, you could give me every celebration of the year, if it's just another Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta doing different things, I wouldn't even care. Like, that's how basic I am. I'm just a monkey, dude. Like, I'm just a monkey. Monkey like monkey. That's it. Monkey see, monkey do. Monkey pee all over you. Is there anything else to discuss here? I think that's it. So all we can do now is wait. I don't imagine a data download is going to happen before this. So at the very least, the next couple of days, we still have to speculate. Maybe we can discuss what the banner is going to look like. Things like that. But you guys already know where I stand as far as the leader skill. So let me just quickly review what the leader skill is going to look like. It was down here. So I think it's going to be Sin into Omega, GT Baus Inhuman Deeds, 200%, 170, blah, blah. Shadow Dragon Saga, Battle of Fate. Oh wait, you know, I just realized, while this works, they can't be run together. They can't be run together. So you know what? Actually, I hate to admit it, I might need to change this. This might be a terrible category, but it might be Shadow Dragon Saga, because they can't They can't possibly have both of the new headlining LRs not relate at all to one another. There has to be something. So actually, I changed my mind. I think we're looking at a 220% Shadow Dragon Saga lead. The leader skill sucks, I know. But if it's not this, they can't be run together, and that is a crime against nature. So this has to be, it has to be this. There's no other way around it. If anything, that probably means this would change to something else. I don't know what else, but I'll leave that to you guys. So yeah, once again, reminder of my predictions. We're gonna have an Int Sin to Omega, AGL Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta into the boys after they defuse. But I'm so excited. I'm dude, like Dokkan. Okay, I know that some people are very upset by seeing this guy, but just like the animations, I'm just talking animations. This, I love Dokkan so much. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below. Leave in the comments your thoughts on the overall presentation of the part 2 teaser. Are you satisfied with what we've seen so far? Is that enough to keep your mind racing until we get the full info breakdown in a couple of days? What are your final thoughts and predictions on leader skills and whatnot? What are your ideas for what those animations could be depicting in the tease? Are we looking at an intro, an active skill? Do you agree with my take that this may not necessarily be the whole picture, that the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta standalone concept isn't 100% guaranteed just yet? Let me know your thoughts overall in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content of the future and click the notification bell so that you ladies know you want to see more of us do it. Thanks again. Stay tuned and Arjabert to Dokkan responsibly.